Thank you very much. It is my great pleasure and honor to invite Her Excellency Professor Shanika Hirimburegama, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to France and the Permanent Delegate of Sri Lanka to UNESCO, to deliver the welcome address.
Ayubowan, Venerable Mahasangha, and other religious dignitaries, Excellencies, Madam Mazlib, Director General of UNESCO, Assistant Director Generals, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. As the Sri Lanka Ambassador to French Republic and the Permanent Delegate to UNESCO, it is an honor to welcome you all to the commemoration of International Day of Vesak 2021. On behalf of the Sri Lanka Embassy in Paris and the Permanent Delegation of Sri Lanka to UNESCO, I very warmly welcome Madam Azley, Director General of UNESCO, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and Permanent Delegates to UNESCO and France, and all those who have joined us online. I would have indeed preferred to see you all in person at UNESCO to celebrate this event together. However, last year and this year have been a difficult time all around the world due to the global pandemic situation that has changed our lives, normal lives and routines, leading to a virtual existence. The Vesak Day, which commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and the attainment of Parinibbana of Gautama Buddha, is an important event for Buddhists throughout the world. Gautama Buddha is acclaimed as a great scientific thinker and a philosopher. Gautama Buddha's teachings are universal, relevant, and stands effective even in the present day. This year, 2021, marks the 2610th anniversary of Lord Buddha's attaining enlightenment. In 1999, pursuant to a decision taken at the 54th sessions of the United Nations General Assembly, which was supported by several countries, including Sri Lanka, the UN recognized Vesak as an international day of observance. The Permanent Delegation of Sri Lanka to UNESCO has been celebrating the International Vesak Day at UNESCO as an annual event. However, due to the present pandemic situation, this year, the International Vesak Day commemoration is conducted on a virtual platform. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when human beings are affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Vesak season is an opportune time to reflect on the virtues of living. Therefore, our theme for this year is Lord Buddha's Dhammapada verse 204. I quote, Arogya Parama Labha Santutti Paraman Dhanam, unquote, meaning that health is the ultimate profit and happiness is the ultimate wealth. During the current pandemic situation, if a person protects him or herself as an individual, the entire society would be protected, leading to defeating of the COVID-19 pandemic. UNESCO's mission is to build peace in minds of men and women through cooperation in education, science, culture, communication, and information. This would cultivate individual protection, thereby safeguarding the entire society to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the Ambassador and the Permanent Delegate of Sri Lanka to UNESCO, I'm extremely thankful to all of you who supported us in various ways to make this day a success. My heartfelt gratitude is extended to the religious dignitaries, Madam Azley, Director General of UNESCO, and the ambassadors, the Asia Pacific group, who sent us video messages and other inputs, and the ambassadors and dignitaries who are participating here with us, not forgetting all the invitees who have joined us online. A very big thank you for all. I consider it is my duty to acknowledge the key organizer of this International Vesak Day program, Mr. Amila Dissanayake, Third Secretary of our mission. All the diplomats and the staff of our Sri Lanka mission in Paris contributed significantly in making this event a success. They are all taking part in this program. Finally, I'm certain that you all would acquire new knowledge to enrich your lives, especially during these difficult times. May the noble Triple Gem bless you.
Now, I would like to invite you to watch a short documentary video on the life of Lord Buddha.
For 49 years, the Buddha of the world journeyed barefoot along the shores of the Ganges. He led us in the learning of the way to liberation, guiding us through the darkness like a path of light. The Buddha was born a prince of the Sakya clan and was named Siddhartha. At birth, a sage predicted that he would grow up to become a great holy king who would unify the world. As the future ruler of the Sakya clan, Prince Siddhartha lived a luxurious life of comfort and pleasure in the palace. However, in search of the great way of liberation, to save all sentient beings from the cycle of birth and death, Siddhartha left the palace on a white horse. He came to a forest at the foot of the snowy mountains, and there he practiced asceticism. For 6 long years, Siddhartha endured every form of ascetic practices until he finally realized that the middle path was the answer.
Cultivation is like playing a musical string instrument. The string will snap if it is too tight, or not make any sound if it is too loose. Indulgence in sensual pleasure or extreme penance are attachments. Be at peace with the middle path for achieving the liberation of body and mind.
Siddhartha sat in cultivation beneath the Bodhi tree. Alone, he confronted the tortuous assailants from Mara's evil hordes.
How can you prove you have become a Buddha?
The earth is my witness.
At that instant, Siddhartha was in complete tranquility and perfect emptiness. He was enlightened and he became the Buddha.
Strange indeed. All sentient beings exist with a Buddha nature, but it is suppressed by vexation and delusion. I wish to be humble. I am not enslaved by fame and wealth. I have come to spread the Dharma, to free all sentient beings from the sea of samsara. Your Majesty, as a king, you should love your people as your own children. A king should not oppress a people. Life should be valued equally, as nothing is more honorable than life itself. Whatever the hierarchy, every person has an inner self that can shine forth.
Buddha, please let go of me. I am dirty.
Niti, we should not look down upon ourselves. One does not become distinguished by one's birth, but by one's behavior. You clear the dirt from people's homes. I clear the dirt from people's hearts. Hence, you and I are the same. Please rise. Rahula, is the water in this basin drinkable?
Of course not.
You are just like the water in this basin, essentially clean, but as you persistently tell lies, you become tainted. No one will cherish you. Aniruddha, let me do the sowing for you. Neither the disciples nor the sentient beings have I ever considered as mine. I am but just a member of the Sangha.
Well-honored one, why do you sit under a withered tree exposed to the sun? Please go into the shade.
The shelter of your own clan is far better shade than that of any tree. Your Majesty, can you not feel it? Since enlightenment, I've shown you the noble eightfold path. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. I have never wearied of teaching the Dharma.
At the age of 80, between a pair of sala trees, the Buddha entered Nirvana.
I have delivered all the sentient beings I could, and have planted the seeds of deliverance for those who have yet to be delivered. Let the precepts be your teacher.
In 1950, the World Fellowship of Buddhists met at the first conference which was held in Sri Lanka. At this occasion, it was proposed and formalized that the day of Vesak will be observed as a holiday. Sri Lanka uses the first full moon day in the month of May. The holiday is also known as Buddha Jayanti or Buddha Purnima and is a festival observed by all Buddhists around the world. The Vesak festival is a remembrance of the birth, enlightenment, and parinibbana of the Gautama Buddha. During the week of Vesak, temples, homes, and institutions decorate their buildings with Buddhist flags, lanterns, and colored lights. Devotees offer joss sticks, flowers, and light lamps in places of worship. This is a symbolic act in representation of the teachings of the Buddha, who stated that life is impermanent and subject to disease, decay, and death. Buddhists attempt to observe the Noble Eightfold Path and are reminded of these at temples and during sermons. Recordings based on suttas uttered by the Buddha 2500 years ago are played or recited by the monks at temples, and people make a spirited effort to change their ways in line with these ideals. Vesak is also a time where the less fortunate are remembered and given special preference in improving their lives. The poor, the aged, the sick, and the handicapped are sought and helped with the intention of putting a smile back on their faces. The period of Vesak celebration is also a time where Buddhists are reminded to put aside self-indulgence and encouraged to pursue meaningful activities. Devotees who come to temples sometimes spend the better part of a day and are provided with food and refreshment. These are usually funded and provided to the temple by the laity. A custom followed in Sri Lanka is the building of elaborate structures called pandols. The pandols are all based on the Jataka tales, which are stories about the past lives of the Gautama Buddha. The aspect of lighting and light is a remembrance of the teachings of the Buddha and the three precepts of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Homes observe this custom by decorating their premises with colored lighting, creating simple or even elaborate lanterns called Vesak Kudu. Family members are encouraged to build these lanterns together. Sometimes a simple ritual of lighting clay oil lamps might be the preference of a household. Sri Lanka is a benevolent nation, and the people follow this spirit and character. Several times a year, the practice of offering food and refreshment to strangers, travelers, or villagers is followed. This tradition, probably unique to the island, is done by creating stalls, which offer food and drink to passers-by. While sacred cities like Anuradhapura and Kandy are decorated with lighting, flags and lanterns, the city of Colombo too undergoes a transformation. The metropolis sees throngs of visitors coming in to see the sights and sounds made more visceral with nightfall. To encourage creativity, several institutions host lantern building competitions, where creativity, size, and originality are judged and rewarded. This lasts for several days, with tens of thousands visiting each night.
I would like to present you remarks from Sri Lankan religious dignitaries in France representing the key faiths.
අතිපූජනීය මහා සංඝරත්නයන් අවසරයි. අන්‍යාගමික පූජකවරුනි, ප්‍රංශේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා තානාපති කාර්යාලයේ ගරු තානාපතිනි, ශානිකා හිරඹුරේගම මැතිණිය සහ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයේ අනුග්‍රහයෙන් පවත්වන මෙම වෙසක් අනුස්මරණ උත්සවයේ වෙනුවෙන් වචන ස්වල්පයක් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට ලැබීම ඉතාමත්ම සතුටට කාරණයක්. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ ඉපදීම, බුදුවීම, මහා පරිනිර්වාණය කියන මේ අවස්ථා තුන සමරමින් මුළු ලෝකයාම වෙසක් සමරන අවස්ථාවේ අද දවසේත් ප්‍රංශයේ සිට මේ විදියට වෙසක් සමරන්න අප සෑම දිනාටම සිදු වෙලා තිබෙන්නේ විවිධ බාධා මැද්දේ. ඒ නිසා ජීවිතය බොහෝ කෙටි නිසා ඒ ගත කරන සුළු කාලය ඇතුළත අප විසින් චරිතවත්ව හැසිරිය යුතු බවත් පවින් වැළකීලා කුසලයන්හි යෙදිලා හිත දමනය කිරීම සඳහා කටයුතු කරන ලෙසත් උන්වහන්සේ උගන්වා වදාළා. ඒ උතුම් වූ ධර්මයට ගරු කිරීමයි අප විසින් සිදු කළ යුත්තේ. ඔබ සැමට තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
ආයුබෝවන් ශ්‍රී ලාංකික ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට. බුදුන් වහන්සේගේ ඉපදීම, බුදුවීම සහ පිරිනිවන් පෑම සමරන්නා වූ මේ උතුම් මංගල්‍යය වෙසක් මංගල්‍යයයි ඔබේ. ඉතින් මේ මංගල්‍ය දවසේදී මා ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට සුබ වෙසක් මංගල්‍යයක් කියා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. සුභාශිංසනය මම ඔබට පුද කරනවා කිතුණු ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන්. ඒ වගේම අපි කිතුණු බැතිමතුන් විදිහට මේ පැරිසියේ ජීවත් වෙන ඔබ වෙනුවෙන් අපි යාඥා කරනවා. ආරෝග්‍ය පරමා ලාභා එයයි තේමාව මේ පැරිසියේ ඔබ තෝරාගෙන තියෙන මේ වෙසක් මංගල්‍යය සඳහා. තානාපතිතුමියනි, ඒ වගේම තානාපති කාර්යාලයේ මේ කර්තව්‍යයට දායක වී තිබෙන සියලුම හිතමිතුරනි ඔබට ස්තුතිය වෙනුවෙන් මේ ආකාරයෙන් මේ ලස්සනට මේ උතුම් මංගල්‍ය මෙලෙස සූදානම් කිරීම ගැන, මේ උත්සවය මෙලෙස සූදානම් කිරීම ගැන තුන්වෙනුව මම කැමති ඔබට පුංචි සිතුවිල්ලක් දෙන්න. බුදුන් වහන්සේ මේ මහ පොළොවේ ඉපදුනේ. ඒ වගේම ජේසුස් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේ මහ පොළොවේ ඉපදුනේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වය වෙනුවෙන්. ආදරය, සුවය වගුරුවන්න. මතක් කරනවා ඒ මනුෂ්‍යත්වය වෙනුවෙන්ම සේවය කළ ගරු මර්සලින් ජයකොඩිපියතුමන්ව වෙසක් බැති ගීත සඳහා උන්වහන්සේගේ පුරෝගාමීත්වය ඉමහත්. ඉතින් මම කියන්නට කැමති මේ හැම ශාස්ත්‍රවන්තයෙක්ම අපිට අරගෙන ආවේ ආදරයයි, ප්‍රේමයයි, ඒ වගේම සාමයයි, සුවයයි. ඒ සඳහා අපි හැම ගමන් කරමු. බෞද්ධ, මුස්ලිම්, හින්දු, ඒ වගේම කිතුණු. අපි ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා ජීවත් වෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකාව. අපේ මේ ලොව තුළ අපි බලවමු. ඔබ සැමට ස්තුති. ජේසු පිහිටයි.
அன்பான உலகெங்கும் வாழும் பௌத்த மக்கள் அனைவருக்கும் இனிய வெசாக் தின நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். இந்த வெசாக் தினத்திலே புத்த பகவானுடைய நற்சிந்தனைகளை பின்பற்றி அவருடைய தர்ம சிந்தனைகளின்படி வாழ அவருடைய ஆசீர்வாதங்களும் இறைவனுடைய கருணையும் தேவை. அதேபோல் இந்த உலகத்திலே இந்த காலகட்டங்களிலே கடந்த 2 வருடங்களாக நம்மை வாட்டி வதைத்து வரக்கூடியதாக இந்த கொரோனா வைரஸானது மிகவும் அல்லல்படுகின்ற மக்களுக்கு மிகவும் அல்லலை கொடுத்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. இந்த வெசாக் நாளிலே அனைத்து மக்களும் சமூக இடைவெளியையும் பின்பற்றி முகக்கவசங்களை அணிந்து புத்த பகவானுடைய சர்வதேச பௌத்த தின வெசாக் தின விழாவிலே கரைத்து புத்த பகவானின் திருவள்ளை பெற்றியும் வண்ணம் அகில உலக இந்து சமய சார்பிலே நல்வாழ்த்துக்களை கோரி விடைபெறுகின்றோம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
The Honorable Ambassador, the staffs, and brothers and sisters, everybody, Aibovan. இங்கு நாம் இப்போது வெசாக் பௌர்ணமி தினத்தை நெருங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். இதுக்கு எங்களையும் அழைத்து எங்களுக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் ஒன்று தரும்படி சொன்னதுக்காக உங்களுக்கு நன்றி சொல்லுகிறோம். நாம் உலகத்தில் பார்த்தால் காலத்துக்கு காலம் பிரச்சனைகள் வந்து கொண்டிருக்கும். மக்கள் பிரச்சனைகளில் மாட்டிக்கொண்டிருப்பாங்க. அந்த சமயத்தில் சில நல்லவர்கள் பிறப்பாங்க. அப்படியான ஒரு நல்லவராகத்தான் புத்த பெருமானார் பிறந்தார். அவர் ஒரு அரசனாக, உலகரசனாக பிறந்தார். அவர் அந்த அரசாங்கத்தை துறந்து ஒரு யோகியானார். யோகியாகி புத்த பெருமானாராக ஆனார். அவரது போதனைகளின் மூலம் எத்தனையோ பேர் நல்ல மக்களாக ஆயினார்கள். அந்த போதனைகளை பார்த்து ஒரு உதாரணத்துக்கு சொல்லப்போனால் அங்கிலிமாலை, அவர் எவ்வளவு கொடியவராக இருந்தார். அந்த அங்கிலிமாலை என்பவர் எவ்வளவு பேரை கொன்று குவித்தவர். ஆனால் கடைசியில் புத்த பெருமானாரின் போதனையின் காரணமாக அவர் திருந்தி நல்லவரானார். இப்படியாக எவ்வளவோ பேர் புத்த பிரானின் போதனைகள் அஹிம்சையை போதித்ததன் காரணமாக எவ்வளவோ பேர் நல்லவர்களாக ஆனார்கள். இதே போல் நாமளும் எங்களுடைய மெசேஜில் சொல்லப்போனால் நாங்கள் முஸ்லீம்கள், நாங்கள் முகமது நபியை பின்பற்றுகிறோம். அதே போல் நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்வதென்னு சொன்னால் புத்த பெருமானார் அவருடைய வழியை பின்பற்றி நடந்தால் நம்ம உலகம் முழுவதும் திருந்திவிடும், எல்லோரும் நிம்மதியாக வாழலாம். ஆகவே இந்த வெசாக் பௌர்ணமியின் மெசேஜில் நான் சொல்ல விரும்புவது என்னவென்றால், இலங்கை மக்கள் புத்த பெருமானாருடைய வழியை பின்பற்றி நடக்கும்படியும், மேலும் தற்போது உள்ள கொரோனாவின் பிரச்சனைகளால் அந்த அரசாங்கம் எப்படி உங்களை வெசாக் தினத்தை கொண்டாட சொன்னார்களோ அதன்படி கொண்டாடும்படியும் நான் உங்களுக்கு என்னுடைய மெசேஜை அறிவிக்கிறேன். நன்றி.
Now, the Vesak Day message of His Excellency Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka.
The universal celebration of Vesak is a sacred day that marks the birth, enlightenment, and passing away of the Lord Buddha as we struggle to overcome the fear created by the current global pandemic. It gives us more reasons to reflect on the Buddha's teachings that have given us greater insights into human existence and help liberate our minds from everyday struggle of life. The Buddha's profoundly wise teaching remain enduringly relevant, calling on every woman and man to impact others' life positively and to be awakened to reality. This message is especially significant and meaningful during the current pandemic, during which numerous lives have been lost, many children orphaned, and millions plunged into suffering. The global pandemic is our present reality. It has not only forced us to evaluate the meanings of life, but also to think about the way we live our lives. Therefore, it is a fitting time for us to use the Buddha's teachings to reconstruct the balance between creature and nature, not simply to survive, but to thrive in a global village that respects diversity, promotes harmony, and safeguards the free gift of nature to usher in peace and prosperity to all humankind. While the pandemic has demonstrated the transient nature of life and everything around us, it has also given us an opportunity to value life and peace within our own minds. As the Buddha has taught, unless we find peace within, we cannot radiate that same peace to those around us. This is the time when we as humans and as a collective of nations rise up to walk away from situations that promote conflict and transform our present distress into an opportunity to foster peace and harmony. It is time we look at each other through the Buddha's lens of love, compassion, and forgiveness. On this Vesak Day, I call upon the entire international community, particularly those countries and organizations which resources to give generously to those in need in the global fight against COVID-19, that represent the true hallmark of Buddha's teachings. At this stage in the pandemic, one of the most important priorities is to ensure equality in the availability and distribution of vaccines for the most vulnerable and marginalized people in the world. On this blessed day of Vesak, my desire is that although we may be challenged by this tragic pandemic, we as a global community can still rise above the muddy waters to bloom like a lotus flower. Let us all be guided by the three universal truths, the Four Noble Truths, and the Noble Eightfold Path, all-time tested teaching of Lord Buddha. I wish you a peaceful Vesak with safety and good health. Teruvan Saranai.
Now, I have the honor to call upon Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena, Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka, to address this special event.
Venerable Mahasangha, respected religious dignitaries, Director General of the UNESCO, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the Dhamma, I am indeed pleased to join you today from Sri Lanka to celebrate this most sacred day for Buddhists the world over. Today is a day for the whole humanity to observe, as Buddhism is considered with the most precious aspects of spiritual, philosophical, ethical, intellectual, cultural, artistic, and social heritage of the entire humankind. The full moon day of Vesak marks the birth, enlightenment, and passing away of the Buddha, as thrice blessed events occurred on the full moon day in the month of May. Therefore, today is also celebrated by 1/5 of the world's population as the 2610th anniversary of the birth of Buddha. Today we mark 21st anniversary of the international recognition of the day of Vesak by the United Nations. It is heartening to see the most sacred day, a fifth of the world's population, being celebrated and appreciated by the UN global community. In this light, I pay tribute to the late Honorable Lakshman Kadragama, who in his capacity as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sri Lanka, took the initiative and proposed in 1999 at the 54th General Assembly that the UN honor the Buddha by observing the day of Vesak as a special day. I extend my appreciation to the Venerable Mahasangha and other religious dignitaries for participating at this significant and sacred commemoration. Buddhism is a philosophy that espouses living a noble life, a life that follows the middle path and the devoted of excessive pleasure and excessive sorrow. It is in following the middle path, Madhyama Pratipadahava, that will help us realize the true nature of things and shed the ignorance that fuels our anger, ego, and jealousy. The Buddha teachings are not confined to caste, gender, or nationality. They are universal principles and teachings available to all. Just as enlightenment and truth is a blessing for all, an ethos that is reflected in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The principles and wisdom of Buddhism are ingrained in very culture and values of Sri Lanka. From the sacred bo tree in Anuradhapura to the temple of the sacred tooth lake in Kandy, and to the temple caves of Dambulla, to the offering during harvest seasons of Buddhism's influence on the formation of old kingdoms, we can see the impact of value Buddhism has had on Sri Lankan culture and belief since its introduction to the island 2,600 years ago. Even after 2,600 and more years, teachings of the Buddha continues to be sought after in today's modern world for the great wisdom and the deep values it instills. Even more, as Buddhism shows path to ease stress, assures tranquility, and bring serenity in the minds of today's troubled world. Buddhism recognizes that all religions share the same aim of working for well-being of mankind. Everywhere Buddhism traveled, it never tried to replace whatever belief systems or practices which existed prior to its coming. With ease of tolerance and accommodation, Buddhism took in and understood all that was of value in every culture. As we look to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic and focus on rebuilding our nations and our global community, I believe teachings of the Buddha will surely guide us. We are facing unprecedented times that are stress for us all, a time that challenges our relationship, and we have witnessed globally situations of anger and hostility. We must reject hate and ensure that there is no room for it in our responses. This is why the Buddha taught us that the goal and the very purpose of one's existence is to serve for the benefit of others. Paratam Patipajata. Let me conclude with the noble words of Buddha. Sabbityo vivajantu, sabba rogo vinasatu, mate bhavantrayo, sukhi dighaito bhava. May all misfortunes be avoided, may all sickness be healed, may no dangers befall on you, may you live long and happy. May blessings of the noble triple gem be with you all.
I would like to thank Honorable Minister for his message, and now I would like to invite all of you to hear the Vesak Day message of Madam Audrey Azoulay, the Director General of UNESCO.
Ayu Bowan, dear friends, UNESCO is pleased and proud to be celebrating Vesak Day alongside the permanent delegation of Sri Lanka. This sacred day of the full moon is a triple commemoration of the birth, enlightenment, and death of the Buddha. I would like to extend my deepest sympathies to those who are spending this day in mourning or suffering, because this year, once more, the pandemic has put a stop to most traditional festivities, which are so magnificent and so impatiently awaited. However, followers across the globe will still light lanterns, meditate, and celebrate the spirit of this day collectively, albeit remotely. In this way, Buddhist communities are keeping this centuries-old tradition very much alive, despite the context. This is vital, because when traditions such as these are affected, it is the whole of humanity's heritage that suffers. And that's why, from Mongolia to Sri Lanka via Afghanistan, UNESCO is committed to preserving the diversity of cultural traditions. 20 years after the terrible destructions of the Buddhas of Bamiyan, we wish to reaffirm all that Buddhist heritage brings to religious and cultural dialogue and the fight against hatred. In these times of crisis, the message of solidarity and benevolence towards others, as well as towards the environment, is particularly significant. These are the values that must guide us through this crisis and beyond to help us build the future. These are the values which UNESCO aims to build life into through the diversity of its mandate. By protecting the world's cultural expressions, which unite humans in all our diversity, by working daily to build peace in the minds of women and men through education, respect for differences and dialogue, by helping also to reshape the relationship between humans, nature, and biodiversity. And it is precisely because of these values that the international community comes together with Buddhists worldwide to celebrate Vesak Day, a day of celebration, a day of light. So today, I wish you all a very happy Vesak Day, and I thank you for having invited UNESCO to celebrate it with you. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to present Vesak Bhakti Gita sung by the staff of the Sri Lanka Embassy and the permanent delegation. Let me introduce briefly what Vesak Bhakti Gita are. They are songs dedicated to Buddha, is sung during the month of May. They are also called singing devotional songs about Buddha in commemoration of his birth, enlightenment, and passing away. Vesak means the month of May in the lunar calendar. Bhakti implies the confidence of faith of Buddha, and the word Gita means songs in Sinhala language. Hope you will enjoy it. Thank you, dear colleagues, for all your support. I would like to invite Most Venerable Murungasaya Nyanisara Tero for a Dhamma session in Sinhala language.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa sukho buddhanam utpado. බුදුරයණන් වහන්සේගේ උත්පත්තිය ලෝකයට සුවයක් කියන බව සඳහන් වන්නේ. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ ජීවිතය සම්බන්ධ උපත, බුදුවීම, පිරිනිවන් පෑම යන මේ තෙමගුල සමරා බොහෝ බෞද්ධයන් ඉතා උසස් ආකාරයෙන් වෙසක් උත්සවය සමරනු ලබන්නේ. මේ වෙසක් උත්සවය විවිධ ආකාරයේ බෞද්ධ සම්ප්‍රදායන්ට අනුව ඇති සියලුම අංශයන් සමරනු ලබන උත්සවයක්. එතකොට මෙතෙන්දී අප දන්නවා වෙනදා ඉතා උසස් ආකාරයට වෙසක් උත්සවය පවත්වනු ලබනවා. තොරන් ආදී ඉදි කරමින් විවිධ ආකාරයේ උත්සව සංවිධානය කරමින්. දැනට ගිය වසරෙත් මේ වසරෙත් ඒ දේවල් ඒ ආකාරයට කරන්නට වෛරසයක් අපට ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙන්න මෙතෙන්දී අපේ වෙසක් සිතුවිල්ල කොයි ආකාරයට මේ වෙසක් සමරනවාද කියන ආකාරයට යොමු කරන්නට ඕන. අප දන්නවා බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ බුද්ධත්වයට පත් වුණේ ලෝකයේ පවතින ධර්මතා අවබෝධ කරගෙන ලෙඩෙක්, මහල්ලෙක්, මළමිනියක්, පැවිදිරුවක් කියන මේ සතර පෙරනිමිති දුටු උන්වහන්සේ මෝහරාගිය බුද්ධිය තුළින් අවබෝධ කරගත්තා ලෝකයේ සත්‍යය ලෙඩ වෙන බව, වයස්ගත වන බව, මරණයට පත්වන බව. මෙය අවසන් කිරීමට මාර්ගය තෝරාගත්තේ ඒ පැවිදි රූපයෙන්. මෙන්න මේ නිසා අපේ සිතුවිලි අර ආමිස පූජාවලට වඩා ප්‍රතිපත්ති පූජාමය අංශයට මේ වර්ෂයේ යොමු කරනවා නම් වෙසක් උත්සවය අපට හොඳට සමරන්නට පුළුවන්. ඒ පිළිබඳව කල්පනා කරන විට වෛරසය, කොරෝනා වෛරසය ශරීරයට ඇතුල් වුණාට පස්සේ ටික කාලයක් අපට වේදනා දෙමින් අපේ ජීවිතය අවසන් කරන්නට පුළුවන්. ඒක මේ ජීවිතයෙන් අවසానයි. නමුත් පින්වතුනි, කෙලස් කියන මේ ධර්මයක් ශරීරයට ඇතුළත් වුණාට පස්සේ එය මේ භවයෙන් අවසන් වන්නේ නැහැ. සසර පුරාවට අපි සමග ගමන් කරනවා. මෙන්න මේ නිසා මේ කෙලස් අපේ ජීවිතයට ඇතුළත් වීමේ, සිතට ඇතුළත් වීමේ අවස්ථාව අපට ආවරණය කරගන්නට පුළුවන් නම් මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවක අපට පුළුවන් මේ වෙසක් නිසි ආකාරයට ප්‍රයෝජනට ගන්නට. එදා බෝසතාණන් වහන්සේ දුටුවේ සංසාරයේ පවතින ස්වභාවය. මේ தත්ත්වය අපි තේරුම් ගත්තොත් මේ අපට හරව ගන්නට පුළුවන් සසර දුකෙන් මුදවන්නට අවස්ථාව වශයෙන්. උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් අපිට මතක් වෙනවා ශාසන ඉතිහාසය සඳහන් වෙනවා කිසා ගෞතමිය තමාගේ පුතා මියගේ බව අවබෝධ කරගන්නට නොහැකිව නොඑක ආකාරයේ වේදකම් එහෙම නැත්නම් ප්‍රතිකාර සොයන්නට දිව ගිය ආකාරය බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට ප්‍රතිකාරයක් ලබා දෙන්නට අබ ටිකක් ගේන්නට මතක් කළා. අබ කියන එක අපහසුයක් නෑ. නමුත් උන්වහන්සේ සඳහන් කළා කිසි කෙනෙක් නොමලගේකින් තමන්ගේ කෙනෙක් නොමලගේකින් අබ අරන් එන්න කියලා. ඒ හොයනකොට එතුමියට තේරුණා මේ අර්ථ වශයෙන්ම මගේ පුතුට පමණක් නේ ලෝකයට සාධාරණ ධර්මයක් කියලා. පටාචාරා කතාව ගත්තත් අපිට පේනවා මව්පිය දෙපළ, දරු දෙපළ, ස්වාමියා, සහෝදරයා ඔක්කොම නැති වෙලා පිස්සියක් වගේ යන අවස්ථාවට ඒ සිතුවිල්ල යොමු කළා දහම් ආකාරයට. මෙන්න මේ නිසා අපට ඇතිවන එවැනි තත්ත්වයන් යහපත් තත්ත්වයට යොමු කරගත්තාම ඒ අපේ විමුක්තිය සඳහා යොදා ගන්නට පුළුවන්. එදා පටාචාරාගේ පුතු මිය ගියේ නැත්තම් සමහර විට අදත් අප සමග සංසාරයේ ගමන් කරන්නට පුළුවන්. පටාචාරා පිළිබඳව කල්පනා කළත් ඒ தත්ත්වය එහෙමයි. එහෙමනම් එවන් විසනයකින් තමන්ගේ විමුක්තිය සරසා ගත්තා වගේ මේ කොරෝනා වෛරසය පවතින තත්ත්වය අපට හොඳට වැටහෙනවා. ඉන්දියාවේ එදා විශාල මහනුවරක් වශයෙන් සඳහන් කරපු ඒ කාරණා කාව්‍යවල නොයෙක් ආකාරයේ ඉතිහාසයේ සඳහන් වෙනවා. ඒ தত্ত্বය එදා වගේම ඒටත් වඩා බරපතල ආකාරයට අද ඉන්දියාව පුරා දකින්නට ලැබෙනවා. තැන් තැන්වල මලමිනි, ලෙඩ වෙලා මරා දෙන ලෙඩුන් හැමතැනම ඒ එක්කම ගංගාවල මිනි පාවනවා. මෙන්න මේ තත්ත්වයන් අපේ සිහියට ගත්තොත් අපිට පුළුවන්කම තියනවා මේ සිතිවිලි යහපත් තත්ත්වයට පත් කරලා අවසානයේදී අපට පුළුවන් අපේ ජීවිතයේ විමුක්තිය කරා යොමු කරගන්නට. මෙන්න මේ නිසා පින්නතුනි මේ ව්‍යසනයක් ඇති වෙච්ච කොරෝනා වසංගතය තුළින් හිර වෙච්ච මේ අවස්ථාව අපට සසර විමුක්තිය සඳහා යොදා ගන්නට මාර්ගය සලසා ගත්තොත් නියම වෙසක් උත්සවයක් අපි සමරුවා කියලා සන්තෝෂ වන්නට පුළුවන්කම තියෙනවා. ඒ වෛරසය අපේ ශරීරයට ඇතුළත් වෙනවට අපි නොයෙක් ආවරණ යොදා ගන්නවා වගේ කෙලෙස් අපේ ජීවිතයට සිතට ඇතුළත් වනවට ඒවා අපි ඉවත් කරන්නට ආවරණයක් යොදාගත්තොත් නියම ආකාරයට වෙසක් උත්සවයෙන් ප්‍රයෝජන ගත්තා කියලා අපිට සැනසෙන්නට පුළුවන්. මෙන්න මේ කාරණා සිහිපත් කරගෙන මේ වෙසක් උත්සවය ඔබේ ජීවිතය සාර්ථකත්වය කරා ගමන් කරන්නට බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කළ ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය ආකාරයට ජීවිතය ගත කරගෙන ඔබේ ජීවිතය සුවපත් කිරීමට අවස්ථාවක් උදා කරගන්නට ක්‍රියා කරන්න. ඔබට මේ ව්‍යසනයෙන් සිදුවන අවස්ථාව මගහැර ඒ යහපත උදෙසා යොදා ගන්නට පුළුවන්. එදා පටාචාරා කිසා ගෞතමී යොදාගත්තා වගේ මේ தත්ත්වයේ ලෝකයේ පවතින අනිත් තියෙනවා. දැන් වසරේ කමාරකටත් වඩා කාලයක් ගත වෙද්දී තවමත් නිසි ප්‍රතිකාරයක් මේකට සොයා ගන්නට නැහැ. සොයා ගන්නා ප්‍රතිකාරත් ඒට වඩා වෛරස තුළින් තවත් ආකාරයට සකස් වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ නිසා මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අනිත්‍යයි කියන ධර්මතාවය යොමු කරගෙන අපි කටයුතු කරන්නට ඕන. ඒ අවස්ථාවේ වෙනද අපට මතකයි ප්‍රංශයේ පැරිස් නුවර තානාපති කාර්යාලය ඉතා ඉහළින් මේ වෙසක් උත්සවය සමරනු ලබනවා. නමුත් පවත්නා තත්ත්වය අනුව මේ කාර්යය නිසියාකාරව පවත්වා ගැනීම පිණිස මහාචාර්ය ශනිකා ඉරඹුරේගම මැතිනිය ඇතුළු ඒ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලය ගත්ත හොඳ බුද්ධිමත් තීරණයක්. අපේ ජීවිත මේ ආකාරයට කල්පනා කරමින් යහපත් තත්ත්වයට පවත්නා තත්ත්වය ආවරණය කරගනිමින් ක්‍රියා කිරීමිතා වැදගත් කියන බව මේ අවස්ථාවේ සඳහන් කරන්නට ඕන. බෞද්ධය යනු ඒ දේවල් ඇති තත්ත්වයන් අවබෝධ කරන ක්‍රියා කළ යුතු අය. අන්න ඒ දේ තේරුම් අරගෙන ඉතා යහපත් ආකාරයට මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය සිද්ධ කිරීම ඉතා වැදගත් වෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ නිසා පින්නතුනි මේ කොරෝනා වසංගතයේ මැදෙහි අපි ඒ තුලින් ඇතිවෙන තත්ත්වයන් ආරක්ෂා කර ගන්නවා වගේ අපේ සිතට ඇතුළත් වීමට ඊටාම පහසුවෙන් හැකියාව ඇති ලෝභ, දෝෂ, මෝහ වැනි මේ කෙලෙසුන් පුළුවන් තරම් ආවරණය කරගෙන අපේ ජීවිතය සකස් කරගත්තොත් අර මේ ජීවිතය මෙලොවින් අවසන් වනවා වගේම සංසාර ජීවිතය අපට සුවපත් කරගන්නට මේ අවස්ථාව උදා කරගන්නට පුළුවන් කියන බව සඳහන් කරන්නට ඕන. මෙන්න මේ කාරණා සිහිපත් කරගෙන ඔබ මේ අවස්ථාවේ දාන සීල භාවනා මේ ඔස්සේ තමන්ගේ සිත වඩන්න. ඒ විදිහට වැඩිම තුලින් තමන්ට පුළුවන්කම තියනවා වෙසක් තොරන් දම්සල් ආදී බාහිර දේවල් වලට වඩා අභ්‍යන්තර පාරිශුද්ධය ඇති කර ගැනීම පිණිස උදාර සේවයක් තමන් විසින්ම තමන්ට කරගන්නට පුළුවන් බව මේ කාරණය සිහිපත් කරන්න මම මතක් කළා වගේ කොරෝනා වෛරසය තුලින් ආරක්ෂාව සලසා ගැනීමට මුඛ ආවරණ අප්සේදීම් ආදී දේවල් කරනවා වගේ කෙලෙස් ආවරණයක් ඇති කර ගැනීම පිණිස සිහි කල්පනාවෙන් යුක්තව කටයුතු කරන්නට ඕන. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ නිවන් අවබෝධ පිණිස දේශනා කළ ධර්ම අතර ඒ කරුණු කීපයක් සඳහන් වෙනවා. බොජ්ජංග සූත්‍රයේ 7න් එකක් සති සම්බොජ්ජංගය, ආර්ය අෂ්ටාංගික මාර්ගයේ එකක් සම්මා සති. මෙන්න මේ දෙක අපට කොරෝනා මර්ධනයටත් උපකාරී වෙනවා වගේ අපේ සංසාර ගමන වර්ධනය වීමට පැවැත්මට ඇති හැකියාව නැති කර ගැනීම පිණිස ආවරණය කරන ගැනීම පිණිස ක්‍රියා කරනවා කියන බව සැලකමින් ඒ ඔස්සේ ගමන් කර මේ අවස්ථාවය සමන්ගේ සසර ගමන සුවපත් කිරීමට අවස්ථාව උදා කර ගන්න. මේ ආශිර්වාද බලයෙන් මේ පින්කම් බලයෙන් ලෝපුරා කොරෝනා රෝගයෙන් වේදනා විඳින බොහෝ ජනතාවට සුවයක් ලැබේවා. හැමතෙම යහපතක් වේවා. හැම දිනාටම සුබ විසංගක් වේවා. ඔබ හැමත ත්‍රිවිධ රත්නයේ සරණයි.
Thank you, Venerable Thero. Now we have the opportunity to hear a few words of Dhamma from Most Venerable Paravahara Chandratana Thero in French language.
Message du Vesak 2565. Nous devons cette année célébrer la fête de Vesak avec des restrictions dues à la période de pandémie que nous traversons. C'est pour cela qu'il est conseillé de pratiquer l'enseignement du Bouddha en restant à la maison et en pratiquant le Dhamma. Dhammo havera kati dhammachari. Le Bouddha a dit que celui qui respecte le Dhamma, il se protège par le Dhamma. Certains suttas de protection sont disponibles dans le Dhamma du Bouddha, mais pour recevoir cette bénédiction, il est essentiel de respecter et de pratiquer le Dhamma. Par ailleurs, le Bouddha nous a conseillé de toujours pratiquer le sati. Cette pratique est autant plus pertinente vu la période de pandémie que nous traversons. Dans notre vie quotidienne, il faut observer l'attention en plein conscient vis-à-vis des gestes barrières. Le port du masque, le lavage des mains et le respect de la distanciation physique. C'est la seule solution pour ralentir ou éradiquer l'épidémie. Dans le sutta de Satipatthana, le Bouddha nous a suggéré de toujours pratiquer l'attention dans tous les gestes et toutes les actions de notre vie quotidienne. Nous commémorons donc aujourd'hui la fête de Vesak. Cette fête incarne une occasion très importante pour les bouddhistes du monde entier. Ce jour-là, en effet, nous commémorons les 3 événements capitaux de la vie de Bouddha, à savoir sa naissance, son éveil et son Mahaparinibbana, c'est-à-dire le défunt final. Nous sommes actuellement dans l'année 2565. Nous l'espérons bénéfique et il est essentiel de comprendre les aspects principaux de l'enseignement du Bouddha. Ces points essentiels doivent être mis en pratique, sinon il reste lettre morte. La connaissance intellectuelle est insuffisante pour comprendre la vérité ultime, c'est-à-dire le Nibbana. Nous traversons une période de pandémie sans précédent dans l'histoire de l'humanité. Au cours de cette crise sanitaire très douloureuse, nous saisissons une opportunité pour comprendre en profondeur les enseignements du Bouddha. Ainsi, le jour de Vesak constitue une opportunité dorée pour respecter et mettre en pratique l'enseignement du Bouddha. Le Bouddha a résumé dans une formule parfaitement adéquate son enseignement, à savoir Sabba Papasa Karnang, Kusalasa Upasampada, Sachitta Pariyodapanang, Etang Buddhana Sasana. Cesse de commettre le mal, agir mal. Faire le bien, purifier son mental. Ceci est l'enseignement du Bouddha. En fait, même si notre Bouddha actuel a résumé de manière suivante son enseignement, cette formulation renvoie à tous les Bouddhas. En fait, il est capital pour purifier le mental de contempler le tilakkhana, les 3 caractéristiques de l'existence conditionnée, à savoir anicca, l'impermanence des phénomènes matériels et mentaux, dukkha, insatisfaction, la souffrance, et anatta, la non-substantialité, le non-soi et non-ego. Pour effectuer une introspection intuitive dans ces 3 caractéristiques, il peut pratiquer la méditation vipassana, la vision intérieure et pénétrante, permettant de voir les choses telles qu'elles sont. C'est pour cela qu'il est important, avant de le mettre en pratique, de comprendre ce qui est le bouddhisme. Le bouddhisme ne se résume pas à la pratique de rituels avec une foi aveugle. Le bouddhisme n'est pas fondé sur la foi et les croyances, mais sur la compréhension de la réalité telle qu'elle est. Le bouddhisme vient du mot buddhi, qui signifie sagesse. La sagesse est appelée panya en langue pali, langue dans laquelle on était prononcé et couché par écrit les discours du Bouddha. Les 3 étapes du sentier bouddhique interdépendantes, les unes vis-à-vis des autres, sont appelées sila, la vertu éthique, samadhi, la concentration, et panya, la sagesse. Dans le premier sermon du Bouddha, il est fait état du noble sentier octuple, Arya Atthangika Magga, comme sentier unique conduisant à la libération du samsara, le cycle d'existence. Dans l'Arya Atthangika Magga, nous trouvons Samma Ajiva, les moyens d'existence justes. En effet, dans l'existence de notre profession, il est crucial d'être toujours intègre et honnête. Certaines propositions sont même déconseillées aux observants sincères du Dhamma, comme par exemple vente des armes et le trafic de drogue et vente des liqueurs, etc. De plus, si nous souhaitons développer la paix à l'intérieur de nous-mêmes et dans le monde qui nous entoure, la pratique de metta, l'amour bienveillance, est un rapport très précieux. En ce jour bénéfique, je vous souhaite de pouvoir investir et généreux et louable effort pour pratiquer avec sincérité et énergie l'enseignement du Bouddha. Je vous remercie.
Thankful to the Most Venerable Thero for that timely words, and now I have the honor to present a few celebratory remarks from our permanent delegates to UNESCO of the Asia Pacific Group and how this special day is celebrated in their respective countries.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On this sacred occasion of Vesak, it gives me great pleasure to extend my heartfelt felicitation and warm wishes to all Buddhist sisters and brothers across the world. Vesak is the day honoring the birth, enlightenment, and passing of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha's life and teaching was one of love, compassion, and service for the humanity. In this turbulent time in our lives, when humanity is challenged in a manner never challenged before, when health crisis has taken a catastrophic proportion, it is the time to take inspiration from the teachings and messages of Lord Buddha. It is the time to learn from his lifelong struggle for the service of the people. It is the time that we should focus on what unites us rather than what divides us. Today, the world is more connected than ever before. It is through holding hands of each other can we make a real difference in our lives, make the world more peaceful and harmonious for living of all beings. Let us celebrate Vesak by taking lesson from the teachings of Lord Buddha to build compassion and solidarity with our fellow human beings and renew our commitment to build a peaceful world together. I will conclude by extending my heartfelt felicitation to Her Excellency Ambassador Shanika Hirimburegama, Ambassador and Permanent Delegate of Sri Lanka, for organizing and celebrating this event and making me a part of the celebration. I would like to again extend my heartfelt felicitation to all our brothers and sisters of the Buddhist faith on this happy occasion of Vesak. Thank you very much.
Buddha Purnima, the most important occasion of the year for Buddhists, is a government holiday in Bangladesh. The day is observed with rallies, processions, and charitable programs throughout the day. The second largest Buddhist festival held in Bangladesh is the Probarana Purnima Festival, popularly known as the Sky Lantern Festival. Among other rituals, Buddhists celebrate the day by flying countless paper lanterns, locally called fanush, into the sky. The lanterns are launched in commemoration of Buddha and his teachings. Devotees believe Probarana Purnima marks the beginning of the month-long Katina Chabor Dana festival. During this period, devotees ceremonially present monks with chabor, the yellow robe worn by Buddhist bhikkhus. The chabor are then sanctified by the monks throughout the month according to the rules of Vinaya.
Your Excellency, Madame Shanika Kirubiragama, Ambassador, Permanent Delegate of Sri Lanka to UNESCO, Madame Director General, Excellencies, colleagues and friends, my warmest congratulations to the successful organization of the celebration of the Vesak Day this year. I would like to thank Her Excellency Ambassador Shanika Hirubiragama for the extraordinary effort you and your team have put into the preparation of this event, and for keeping the tradition going on in a new form in this special time when we need extra blessings and inspiration. The core value of Buddhism are striving for freedom from greed, anger, and ignorance, and promoting harmony and peace in this world. Vesak Day celebration has a long tradition in UNESCO and has become an important occasion for us to share culture diversity in promoting intercultural and interreligious dialogue and understanding. It is a pity that we cannot meet in person and enjoy many activities as we had on this day before, including the very nice Buddhist artifacts, food, and artistic performances. But I'm equally confident that today's event will give us the same enjoyment, inspiration, and enlightenment as always. I wish the celebration the best success. Thank you.
Venerable monks, excellencies, distinguished colleagues and friends, Ayubovan and Namaste. Bodham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. I thank my colleague, the permanent representative of Sri Lanka, Ambassador Professor Shanika Hirimburegama, for her initiative to organize this event at UNESCO to mark the auspicious occasion of the Day of Vesak. The Day of Vesak is a day of immense significance for not just the followers of Buddhism, but for humanity as a whole. Three major events in the life of Gautam Buddha took place on this day. First, the Buddha-to-be, Prince Siddhartha, was born at Lumbini Grove on the full moon day in May. Second, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree and became Gautam Buddha at Bodh Gaya, also on the full moon day of May. Third, he attained Nibbana, the cessation of all desire, on the full moon day of May at Kushinara, known today as Kushinagar, in the state of Bihar, India. We gather to recall the profound teachings of the Buddha and the timeless nature of his wisdom. The Buddha emphasized on the values of compassion, service to humanity. In our troubled times, both these eternally valid principles continue to resonate. Medical fraternity across the globe has reaffirmed the principle of compassion and service to humanity. The pandemic is a reminder of the significance of the four of Buddhism. In the face of abhorrent acts of terrorism and violent extremism, the values of fellowship and community, of Dhamma and Sangha, as articulated by the Buddha, are the beacons of hope and guidance. The International Day of Vesak provides us an opportunity to recall the eternal legacy of Gautam Buddha and the timeless values enshrined in Buddhism. Today's event is an opportunity to emphasize that what binds us together is stronger than what tends to keep us apart. When the world is battling the pandemic, commemoration of Vesak Day is a reminder that compassion is the essence of human existence. Perhaps that is what the great Sakyamuni Buddha aspired to. I therefore thank the organizers for the opportunity provided to the delegation of India to join in this noble endeavor. Thank you. Sarva Mangalam Hetave.
Excellencies, colleagues, it is a pleasure to celebrate Vesak Day with all of you. I am proud to be part of the Asia-Pacific region, a vibrant region with the highest religious and cultural diversity in the world. Vesak Day is an important day of celebration and contemplation for the Asia-Pacific region, as millions of Buddhists around the world commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and passing of Gautama Buddha. On behalf of Indonesia, I wish Your Excellencies and all Buddhists around the world peace, unity, joy on your sacred day. As we celebrate Vesak Day, we can all be inspired by the teaching of Gautama Buddha. Particularly pertinent during the challenging time of COVID-19 is Buddha's message to make health the ultimate profit and happiness the ultimate wealth. In Indonesia, I am happy to share that Vesak Day is celebrated joyfully in Borobudur Temple, the biggest Buddhist temple in the world, a UNESCO heritage site. Let us celebrate the Vesak Day to reinvigorate our commitment to work together towards peace, compassion, solidarity, and the service of others so we can recover together and recover stronger from the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Excellencies, dear colleagues, it is a great honor for me to speak on this occasion of the Vesak Day commemoration. I would like to thank Permanent Delegation of Sri Lanka for organizing this event. In Japan, we celebrate the birth of Buddha by holding flower festivals on the 8th of April. The first flower festival in Japan is said to have been organized in mid-6th century following the introduction of Buddhism to Japan. That's a very, very, very ancient time. I understand that the theme of this year's event is health and happiness in the words of Buddha, and this indeed is a very good topic under the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 has seriously affected many aspects of our lives. For example, in education, it brings very adverse impacts, including the disappearance of face-to-face education opportunities. In order to mitigate those effects, Japan recently committed about $2.5 million to UNESCO projects supporting women's education and remote education. Japan believes UNESCO can and should play an important role to alleviate such distress and bring peace of mind to people, especially under those difficult circumstances, in line with the spirit of Buddhism. To conclude, I would like to offer my best wishes to those celebrating the day of Vesak and express my sincerest hope that Buddhism inspires our efforts to overcome the hardship caused by the COVID-19. Happy Vesak Day, and thank you very much.
この花祭り戦争法要は全日本仏教青年会が主催し、仏教の交流や世界平和を願い、昭和63年から毎年この日に開いています。今日大仏殿に集まったのは全国各地の僧侶およそ500人。日頃はそれぞれの寺や宗派の中で活動していますが、戦争法要では宗派の垣根を越えて大仏に祈りを捧げます。最近世界各地で災害や紛争が頻発しているだけに、大仏殿を訪れた参拝者たちも僧侶と一緒に世界平和への祈りを捧げていました。
4月8日は今からおよそ2500年前、仏教を開いた釈迦がインドの花園で誕生したとされ、仏生会花祭りとして祝われています。今日は浅草寺幼稚園の園児およそ300人が白い象を引いて雷門から仲見世を練り歩きました。
Madam Audrey Azili, Director General of UNESCO, Excellencies, distinguished representatives. I have the honor to participate in this commemoration of the International Vesak Day, or the Buddhist Day. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Her Excellency, Ambassador Professor Shanika, and the permanent delegation of Sri Lanka for holding this important event virtually, with an aim of promoting peace and mindfulness. At the time, the world is faced with many challenges due to the pandemic situation. Today, we are commemorating the Vesak Day. The Vesak Day falls on the full moon day of Kastel, the second month in Myanmar lunar calendar, and it is a day when three major events miraculously occurred in the life of Gautama Buddha: the day of Buddha's birth, the day of enlightenment, and the day of the attainment of Nibbana. Among countless Dhammasamon that Lord Buddha gave during the lifespan of 45 years after attaining the enlightenment, one is aimed at the importance of maintaining good health as follows. Health is the greatest gift. Contentment is the greatest wealth. The trusted are the best kinsmen. Nibbana is the supreme bliss. The Buddha's perspective on health involves the practice of moral and religious values such as compassion, tolerance, and forgiveness. That is why Buddhism advises those who want to be healthy and happy to practice morality, sila, mental discipline, samadhi, and wisdom, panya, in the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha taught us to get rid of hurry, worry, and anxiety as much as possible, and to foster a strong, still, and serene mind to enjoy good health. The lingering pandemic reminds us to overcome challenges collectively with resilience. We should remain in control of our physical and mental actions while adhering to health and sanitary guidelines with mindfulness. If we live our life with mindfulness, being mindful in every aspect, we will be able to lead a healthier and happier life. As we honor the Buddhist teaching on values of peace, compassion, and devotion to the service of humanity, it is time for us to take actions with solidarity in shaping a healthy and peaceful world. May Dhamma long last forever. May righteousness prevail. I thank you.
On this day, people used to pour water to Bodhi Bayan tree, which Gautama Buddha became enlightenment. Bodhi means wisdom or enlightenment or Buddhahood, and any tree under which Buddha attained enlightenment is Bodhi tree. Every pagoda and monastery compounds across the country is crowded with Buddhist devotees who came to pour water to Bodhi tree on the significant day.
We have been participating in water pouring celebration since more than 20 years ago. We used to celebrate this festival since this is a significant event for our Buddhists.
At Kabai Pagoda, the Borough Trustee provided necessities for pouring water for convenience of the pilgrims.
Here in Kabai Pagoda, we celebrate the Buddha Day with the recitation of Buddha teaching by 21 ward associations. There is also a consecration ceremony and charity feast. We also provide arrangements for convenient participating of the people for water pouring, to designate 4 places for pouring water, and also provide water, engineer spirit, and other pots.
Kasau, the second month of Myanmar calendar, is the peak of summer, and during this month, most of the water ponds became dry mud. Water pouring festival also helps promote public awareness of the importance of green environment and preservation of natural environment.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, for sharing your valuable inputs with us. Now, I would like to invite you again to hear another Bhakti Gita sung by the staff of the Sri Lanka Embassy and the permanent delegation. Thank you very much. And now, once again, I would like to present you a few remarks from our friends from the Asia Pacific Group of UNESCO.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, on the auspicious occasion of 2565 birth anniversary of Lord Buddha and International Vesak Day, I bring the message of warm affection and goodwill to you all from Nepal. I wish to extend our hearty felicitations to you all on the occasion. Lumbini in Nepal is the fountain of Buddhism, where Lord Buddha, the apostle of peace, non-violence, compassion, and fraternity, was born. Buddha's philosophy and the teachings have been guiding our civilizations for over 2.5 millennia, which provide a solid foundations to address our challenges and hardships. Observing Buddha's teaching is important in establishing a peaceful world for mankind. The theme of this year's celebration is health is the ultimate profit and happiness is the ultimate wealth. This teaching has persevered over thousands of years and has all the more significance even today, considering the suffering in the world that we observe. Lord Buddha said there is suffering in life. To stop suffering and achieve happiness, one must get enlightened by giving up greed and ignorance. There is no path to happiness, but happiness is the path. To conclude, may this celebration guide us to attain non-violence, truth, tolerance, harmony, happiness, compassion, forgiveness, and world peace through Buddha's immortal teachings. Last but not least, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to Her Excellency Ambassador Professor Kasnika Hirimburegama and the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Paris for organizing this special program and providing me an opportunity to express a few words on this very special occasion. Thank you.
Excellencies, venerable monks, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to join you today to celebrate the International Day of Vesak to mark the birth, enlightenment, and passing of the Buddha. My sincere appreciation goes to the permanent delegation of Sri Lanka to UNESCO for organizing this meaningful event. The international community is now going through a period of great challenge caused by the pandemic. It proves that the fates of all people and of all countries are interlinked. During these difficult times, all of us can learn from the Buddha's spirit of compassion and timeless message of solidarity and service to others. Only through international cooperation can we address the tremendous fragilities in our world today. The Republic of Korea is one of the countries that commemorate the Buddha's birth. For the Republic of Korea, Buddhism is more than religion. It is a culture and a spirit. Buddha's teachings of tolerance and coexistence are deeply ingrained in the life of Koreans. In Korea, millions of people come together to celebrate Buddha's birthday, which fell on May 19th this year. The entire country is illuminated with colorful lanterns. By lighting up darkness, we light up our own heart as well as the world, wishing happiness, wisdom, and peace. This lantern lighting festival in Korea, called Yeondeunghwae, was inscribed as UNESCO Intangible Heritage last year. I hope you enjoy the video we prepared on this festival, which will be shown shortly. As a luminous light shines upon us, coming together as one, I'm certain that with our collective endeavors, we will overcome this crisis. I wish you all a joyful day of Vesak. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin by wishing everyone a very happy Vesak Day. I thank Ambassador Hirimburegama for inviting me to this most auspicious event. Vesak Day is celebrated by Buddhists in Singapore and all over the world. It is a time of joy and reflection. The theme of the celebration today, health is the ultimate profit and happiness is the ultimate wealth, is an opportune moment for us to reflect on what we have to be thankful for amidst the turmoil brought about by COVID-19. The core values of compassion, understanding, and resilience have been espoused in Buddhist teachings for 2.5 millennia and are all the more important today. These values are universal and will keep us strong amidst adversity. These values are also highly relevant to Singapore as a multicultural and multi-religious society. Singapore has one of the most religiously diverse populations in the world. We have shown how, with mutual respect and understanding, different religions, races, and ethnic groups can come together to build a nation. That people from different religions, races, and ethnicities share common values that inspire us to look beyond ourselves and care for others. The Buddhist community demonstrates these values through good works to help Singaporeans, regardless of race, language, or religion. This was exemplified in 2020 by the Buddhist community, who distributed masks and hand sanitizers, low in supplies then, to low-income families across faith communities in Singapore. As we gather today in the spirit of friendship and mutual understanding, let us reflect on how to promote cohesion and unity among diverse peoples, to counter divisiveness, animosity, and conflict in these troubled times. Thank you very much, and happy Vesak Day.
Venerable monks, Madam Director General of UNESCO, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be a part of this auspicious Vesak Day commemoration event. I wish to extend my greetings to all those who have gathered virtually to celebrate the United Nations International Day of Vesak 2021 at UNESCO's headquarters here in Paris. I particularly thank the Permanent Delegation of Sri Lanka to UNESCO for hosting this important event. Vesak is the most sacred day for millions of Buddhists around the world. It is a day to revere the birth, enlightenment, and Parinirvana of the Lord Buddha. It is a day to reflect on the actions and teachings of the Lord Buddha and its implications for all of us. In this difficult time of the COVID-19 pandemic, the teachings of the Lord Buddha, namely compassion and solidarity, becomes even more relevant and inspirational. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted inequalities within and among nations. To respond to this unprecedented crisis will require collective actions driven by compassion and solidarity. Every country must renew its trust in international cooperation, leading to a united world and allowing us to surmount these times of hardship in order to achieve health as the ultimate profit and happiness as the ultimate wealth, the theme of this commemoration. I hope today's Vesak Day event will serve as a reminder for all of us to reflect on ourselves and further reinforce our collective commitment to build back better from the pandemic. May the spirit of the Buddha keep us all safe and sane, more determined than ever to work our way back to a healthier, more inclusive, resilient, equitable, and sustainable world. Thank you very much.
The day of Vesak, which marked the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing away of the Buddha, we celebrated at the United Nations headquarters in New York and at its branch offices around the world. Since the year 2000, on a full moon day in the month of May, Buddhist countries have joined in the commemorative event at the United Nations headquarters. Thailand had the honor of hosting the event in New York in the year 2004. The current Supreme Patriarch of Thailand and Princess Pacharakitiyapa were among participants. The Buddhists in Asia Pacific countries founded the International Council for the Day of Vesak, ICDV, with its secretariat located at Mahachulalongkorn Rajavitiyalaya University in Thailand. From my eyes, I can see the galaxy of Sankaraja, the Supreme Patriarchs, Mahanayakas, Buddhist leaders and scholars. We are here to celebrate the Vesak Day, to commemorate the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and parinirvana. The International Council for the Day of Vesak has been in charge of coordinating activities of Vesak celebration at the United Nations Regional Center called UNESCAP in Thailand over the last 16 years. The international celebration for the Day of Vesak has gone out of Thailand to Vietnam 3 times, in 2008, 2014, and 2019, and to Sri Lanka once in 2017. Buddhist dignitaries, scholars, and world leaders from all over the world to participate in the 14th United Nations Day of Vesak in this beautiful island called Sri Lanka. Among the participants of the Vesak celebration were dignitaries like Supreme Patriarchs, Mahanayakas, President of Buddhist Association, the then Crown Prince of Thailand, presidents and prime ministers.
Venerable monks, excellencies, distinguished colleagues and friends, it is my great honor to join you in the commemoration of the International Day of Vesak. I wish to pay my respects to venerable monks and express my warmest congratulations to the Buddhist community. I would also like to express my appreciation and gratitude to Her Excellency Ambassador Shanika, Permanent Delegate to Sri Lanka, and her team for organizing this special event. Excellencies, colleagues and friends, today we not only celebrate the birth, enlightenment and passing away of the Lord Buddha, but also honor his universal messages of peace, compassion, harmony, mutual understanding among peoples of different cultures, faiths and civilizations, and also welfare for all. More than 2.5 millennia have all enriched the vitality and truth of these messages. We can find in Buddha's teachings key elements of solutions to daunting, complex challenges and threats to international peace, security, and sustainable development today. Excellencies, colleagues, and friends, since Buddhism was first introduced to Vietnam more than 2,000 years ago, Buddha's teachings have had enriched the values of the Vietnamese people and culture. Love, compassion, altruism, and tolerance are the source of strength, helping our people to overcome many insurmountable difficulties. Buddhist followers have had making important contributions to the cause of peace, national independence, and building. Nowadays in Vietnam, Buddhism continues to thrive and coexist with other religions in harmony, sharing the aspiration for peace, development, and prosperity of our country, and the well-being and happiness of our people. On this blessed day of Vesak, I wish to quote the preamble of the UNESCO Constitution. Since wars begin in the minds of man, it is in the minds of man that the defenses of peace must be constructed. End of quote. So let Buddha's teachings be the light, guiding us to peace, whether it is our inner peace or sustainable peace of our world. I thank you for your kind attention and wish you all a happy Vesak Day.
To convene and spread the noble
Khi thả đèn hoa đăng xuống hồ thì em mong muốn là cho gia đình em được bình an, cho bản thân được thành đạt và cho thế giới được phát triển đẹp hơn ạ.
I would like to thank Your Excellencies and the permanent delegations who usually join with us in the commemoration of Day of Vesak at the UNESCO Secretariat. Your strong support extended to us by providing these messages and videos amidst the situations back home. Now, I would like to invite all of you to join with us for a meditation session conducted by Most Venerable Parawa Harachandratana Thero, and would like to take this opportunity to thank all the religious dignitaries, ambassadors, permanent delegates, and all of you who joined with us today. May the Noble Triple
භාවනා වැඩසටහන ඉතාමත්ම කෙටියෙන් මම කෙටි විස්තරයක් කියා දීලා අපි මිනිත්තු 5ක පමණ භාවනාවක් සිදු කරමු. භාවනාව බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ අපිට භාවනා ක්‍රම දෙකක් ගැන සඳහන් කරලා තිබෙනවා. සමත භාවනාව, ඒ වගේම විපස්සනා භාවනාව. සමත භාවනාව කියන්නේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ ලෝකේ පහළ වෙනකොට පැවතිච්ච භාවනා ක්‍රමයක්. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ සොයාගත් පරම සත්‍ය වෙනුවෙන් උන්වහන්සේට උපකාරී වූ භාවනාව තමයි විපස්සනා භාවනාව. විපස්සනා භාවනාව කියන්නේ අපි ඇතිදේ ඇති සැටියෙන් දැකීම. නැත්තම් මේ ජීවිතයේ අපේ ජීවිතේ නැත්තම් අපේ ශරීරය ගැන හරියට අවබෝධ කර ගැනීම සතිපට්ඨාන භාවනාව හැටියට. Il y a deux sortes de méditation, méditation samatha et méditation vipassana. Et aussi, il y a deux sortes de maladies, maladie physique et maladie mentale. Bouddha, c'est un professeur pour la maladie mentale, parce que tout le monde, nous sommes physiquement malades, on est tous malades. Et ça, un médecin nous peut soigner, mais maladie mentale, ne peut pas soigner parce que c'est très difficile. Tout le monde a des maladies mentales. C'est pour ça que la méditation bouddhique nous enseigne pour nous emmener vers le bonheur. Alors, Bouddha nous a enseigné la méditation satipatthana, sati. Sati, c'est très important. C'est pour ça Il faut toujours développer l'attention, pleine conscience. Mama niduk vemi, niroga vemi, suapat vemi. Mage demaupian, niroga vetwa, suapat vetwa, dukin midetwa. Mage sahodara sahodariyan, nyatin, niduk vetwa, niroga vetwa, suapat vetwa. Mage yahaluan, asalwasin, sielu denam, suapat vetwa, niduk vetwa, nirogi vetwa. Mata වෛර කරපු කෙනෙක් සිටිනවා නම් මට විරුද්ධකම් කරපු කෙනෙක් සිටිනවා නම් ඒ සියලු දෙනාම සුවපත් වෙත්වා නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝගී වෙත්වා සියලුම ආගම් වලට අයත් සියලුම දෙනාම නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝගී වෙත්වා සුවපත් වෙත්වා ඒ වගේම සියලුම මේ නගරයේ සිටින සියලුම දෙනාම නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝග වෙත්වා සුවපත් වෙත්වා. ඒ වගේම මේ රටේ සියලුම දෙනා සුවපත් වෙත්වා නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝගී වෙත්වා. වගේම මේ පෘථුවියේ වසන සියලුම සත්වයෝ නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝග වෙත්වා සුවපත් වෙත්වා. මේ පෘථුවියේ මෙන්ම සියලුම ආකාශ ධාතු වල සිටින සියලුම දෙනා නිදුක් වෙත්වා නිරෝග වෙත්වා සුවපත් වෙත්වා. වගේම සියලු දෙනා අතර සාමය සෞභාග්‍ය වගේම සෑම දෙනාටම යහපත සිත ශාන්තිය උදා වේවා. සෑම දෙනාටම සාමයේ ශක්තියෙන් හොඳින් යහතින් ජීවිත ගත කරන්නට මේ සියලුම රෝග නිරාවරණය වෙලා යහපත සිත ශාන්තිය උදා කර ගැනීමට මෙම උතුම් වූ භාවනාව හේතු වේවා.